Hey everyone, it's Karen with 𝗬𝗄𝗄𝗧 PaperCrafts. So for this video, I'm going to be creating a layout for the Simple Stories Saturdays YouTube hop. So y'all be sure and go check out everyone else's videos that is participating in this YouTube hop, and I'll have links to their YouTube channels in the description below. Okay, so for this layout, I decided to use the Simple Stories collection. It's called 𝗬𝗶𝗁𝗃 Coastal, and I have a picture here that was taken a couple years ago when I went on a cruise with my mom and my sister. And this was, I think we were in Nassau, the Bahamas. And so this is the picture that I'm going to use with this collection. And so I did take a few minutes and I went through the papers that were in the collection, and I have some ideas for what I'm going to do for this layout. So let me go ahead and share that with you guys. So this is a really beautiful collection, and it has a lot of papers here that could be used for background. So we have this paper here that I kind of thought about. And let me just go ahead and just do a quick flip through of the paper. If y'all have never seen this paper before, it's just beautiful. And I think this was a collection that came out last year, maybe. And I also thought about using this as a background. They have a lot of papers here that would be beautiful as a background, although this one is a little bit busy. And so we have that paper here. So these were the two papers that I was thinking about potentially using as my background. Then we also have some more paper here. This is another one that could be used as a background. It does have a lot of this teal color in it, and I think that would be beautiful as well. And that's the other side. And we have some hibiscus, and then this green paper, and then a paper with maps, and then wood. And then this is a beautiful paper as well. I actually lost some of my embellishments over there. So this is another paper that I could use as a background. So there's so many different papers in this collection that would make perfect backgrounds for layouts. I think my only thing would be that the papers are just a little bit busy, and I have a way that I'm thinking of actually handling that and toning the paper down. So I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. Now, Simple Stories does have a lot of cut apart. So these are the little 2x2 squares, and then here are the 3x4 cards, and then here's another wood grain paper, and then this one on the back. This paper is gorgeous. I love that. That's a beautiful paper. Here is the 3x3 cards, and then that's a beautiful paper as well. It could be used as a background. And then this one is the 4x6 cards. So those are all the papers that are included. I also have this extra embellishment. This is the banner stickers. And so these are really large stickers or banners. They're really cool. And so that's super pretty. And then I have the 12x12 stickers that also came in the collection. So lots of things to work from here with this. So let me go back here, and I'm going to share with you the idea I have for this layout. So I was thinking about using one of these papers. Let's see, there was one more here. Okay, so here are the 4 contenders for the background. So we have this paper here, this one, and then I have this paper. All of these would make really beautiful backgrounds. And once you put the picture on there, it does look a little bit busy. There's not a lot of places to put embellishments just because the paper has so much of an image on there. It's busy already. And this paper is the same. So we have this paper as well. The only one that is possibly could be used just as a background without having to do anything is this one, although this is probably my least favorite of all of them. Just the color doesn't really go very well. It's not going with the picture. So I'm probably going to eliminate this one, even though this one is probably the best to use for a background, just because it's more of a tone on tone. It's not doesn't have as much on it, so it's not as much of a busy print. But just because of the color, I'm going to eliminate that one. And then we also have this one here. And this one would work as well. This is probably a little bit better than these other two, but I'm going to show you guys something I thought was really cool. So I also have, in addition to having this collection kit with the 12x12 papers, I also have the 6x8 paper pad. And I was flipping through this paper pad and I came across a couple of different papers here. And my idea to tone down the layout would be to layer these papers behind the picture in a way that would make it to where you would have more of the background covered up. So something like, I'm trying to remember how I did this. Something like this, where you would just layer these papers behind the layout, or behind the picture, sorry. And then I have some embellishments here. This is the Simple Vintage Coastal Bits and Pieces, and it has a lot of little ephemera in it. But I also have this one, which is the Simple Page Pieces. So this is everything that's included in the page pieces, and it's intended to be used for a double page layout. But you could just use it all on one layout, which is probably what I'm going to end up doing. So I thought this would be perfect to go across the top. And so it's just going to connect all of these papers together, and look how awesome that looks. It covers up all these corners of all the papers joining together. And then at the bottom here, I thought about putting on my title. And so what I want to do now, this is kind of the design I was going for with the layout, is just look at the 3 papers that I have and try to figure out which one would be the best. So I'm going to move this out of the way. So we'll look at this one first. And this is really pretty. It has a lot of this really pretty teal color. And I like that one quite a bit. But I want to try out the other 2 as well. So I'm just going to take this paper away. And let's go ahead and try this one. I think it's fun to try different backgrounds for your layout, and just to see, you know, if changing the background paper would, if you would like it better. And so I think this one's a little bit busier, and I don't think it adds as much to the picture. So I'll probably, out of the 2, I like the first one. But we'll go ahead and try out my third choice here, which was this paper, and see how this one works. Okay. And you are covering up some of the graphics, but once you start adding on the embellishments, that's going to add quite a bit to the embellishments. And I'll show you all that in just a second here. So we're going to go ahead and put that back on so you can see how it changes when you change the background paper. So it would be fun to see which one do y'all like the best. You'll have to see if I picked the same one that you picked. But I think out of the 3 different papers, I actually like the, I actually think that I liked this one the best. I think it was this one. Let me change it out again and let's see. These 2 are very similar. The first 2 that I actually pulled were very similar, but I'm thinking it was this one that I liked the best. So let me just go ahead and put this back on here. Yeah, I think this one is the one that I like the best. I think it goes really well with the title that I chose to use, which is Destination Escape. So that's going to be the title for my layout. And this layout is going to be super easy. I've been really obsessed lately with using these background papers, or the papers that you can use as a background that have a lot of embellishments already on the paper. And so that's been a lot of fun, and it really makes for a quick and easy layout when you start with a background paper that already has some of the design on it. So let's go ahead. I wanted to go ahead and put this flower. I'm going to pop that flower up with some foam tape and put it right there, I think. And then I want to layer something on this side. Now I'm going to do something on this side of the layout because over here, if I put it over here, we're very close to this edge of the picture, so it would be better to have the embellishments on this side of the layout. And I'll probably do something maybe down here at the corner. So I'm thinking it'll be something like this. And then we have this, I'm not sure I'm going to use the flamingo or not. I'll have to see if maybe I can fit that in there. And then I have these little birds, which maybe I could put down here at the bottom. And also have this chair. So I actually think that's pretty cool. So the other thing that I have here are these embellishments. So I'm probably going to want to look through these and see if there's some more things that I can find here to use on the layout. I might also add a 4th paper. I just want to make sure that the background is not taking away from the embellishments once I start putting the embellishments onto the layout. So I could potentially make this photo mat, or with the papers that I have layered behind the photo, a little bit bigger, just so that you only really see this background paper on the edges. And that will give me a base for putting in all the embellishments. So a lot of these embellishments are very busy as well, so I might have to do something where I use some of the more plain embellishments, like these word quotes here. So I think what I'm going to do at this point is go ahead and get the picture and the papers behind it glued down, and then I'll come back and we'll do all of the embellishments and adding the embellishments to the layout. Okay, so I layered all of the 6x8 papers behind my photo and then added on this banner strip. And so this is what I have so far. So you can see how I just layered the papers behind. And what's really cool about this, using this large title and this banner, is I'm covering up some of the places where the papers join together. And it makes it look so much better when you do that. So I'm going to do that now. I did take some time and I used some of this Scotch 3M foam tape, and I put some of these things up onto foam tape to add some more dimension. So I added foam tape to my title, also to these flowers that I'm going to layer here, and then I also added foam tape to the chair. And then I found these little oars that were included in the ephemera, and so I want to layer these embellishments. So one of the things that you can do when you're trying to layer embellishments but add dimension is to only put the foam tape on the place where you're not going to layer. So I'm going to put these, I think I'm going to put the tree, and then I'll put these oars behind or in front of the tree like this, kind of overlap them. And then I'll put the little chair right here on top, so I can have that layered and have this dimension where it's popped up but it's still behind something. So I think that's really cool. Now, once I had all of my embellishments here, I think I'm also going to put this label down here to cover up that corner. I'm probably going to put the date here, and then I'll have these little flowers. So that gives me 3 clusters around my layout, and then the title. And then as I was looking at this and looking at all of these ephemera pieces that I have, I just think adding more of this on here was going to make the layout just more busy. So I was thinking about what I had in my stash that I could use that would be something that would be have the same look and feel as the papers that I'm using. And I thought about wood, because wood's a natural element and this is kind of an outdoor themed layout. And so I went into my stash where I have all of my wood veneer, and I have them stored in different categories. So I have, like, this is tropical things like trees and leaves and hibiscus. And I have some anchors, and then this one's just like little word quotes in different shapes. So I went through those and I decided not to use the anchor. It just didn't really seem like it went really well with the layout. I couldn't figure out a place to put an anchor on here. But I did decide to use one of these hibiscus flowers, and that's just going to cover up, or actually I'm going to put that here, and then I have this word quote that I'm going to use right there that's going to cover up that corner. And then I have some leaves. I'm going to tuck one leaf down here, and then I'm going to use 2 more leaves over here on this side. And so I think that's pretty much going to be the layout. I might add some enamel dots at the end, but at this point, I think this is going to be the design. It's going to be where I put my embellishment clusters. And then another thing that I thought about doing, because there's so much of the blue sky up here in the picture, I thought it'd be fun to add a word quote on top of the picture. So I might do that and put the live in the sunshine, or maybe, I think which one would be better was this one, which says, "This is my happy place." I think I'm going to place that one right on top of the picture. And that's pretty much going to be how I'm going to embellish this layout. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue everything down, and then I'll be back and we'll go ahead and add the finishing touches to this layout. Okay, so everything is glued down, and I did add a few things to the layout as I was gluing things down. I grabbed one of the stickers off of the 12x12 sticker sheet, and it was a rope, and I cut it in half. I put half of it over here and half of it up here. Just made that cluster a little bit bigger and added a little bit more interest. And then down here I added a die that had a pineapple and some flowers, and then another die that had some birds. It says "It's a beach day" over here to this cluster to make that a little bit bigger. And then I changed out some of the, I guess I moved this hibiscus. I had it over here, but it was just really competing with everything else in the layout. So then I just decided to just pop it on top of the flowers that were there, and I thought that really turned out cool. Okay, so the last thing that I'm going to do to this layout is to add some enamel dots. And I don't want to do anything that's going to make this layout look busy, so or even busier than it is. So I had the thought that I knew that I had these in my stash and I have not used them yet. These are from Gina Marie Designs, and they're clear enamel dots. And the reason why I picked these up was I thought it would be really cool to use these on a layout because they look like drops of water. So it'd be really cool for a beach layout or a pool layout or something like that. So I'm just going to take these clear enamel dots and scatter them over the layout, and just to add a little bit more texture. It just adds a bit of sparkle. Even though these are clear, it adds a little bit of interest because it's a different type of texture that you're adding to your layout. Okay, so I'm just going to put a couple more on here, put some up here at the top. And I'm trying really hard not to spend a lot of time putting on my enamel dots because a lot of times I tend to just move them around and around the layout, and then they end up going right back where I started. I'm really trying hard not to do that anymore. Okay, so I think the last place I'll put some is over here on this side. Oops, that one didn't even stick down. Okay, and I'm just putting 3 different sizes in like a little mini cluster. And so I think I might move these over to this side over here, just because I want to draw more attention over here, but I'm just wondering, I think they look better over here. I'm going to go ahead and put them back. Let's go ahead and put these back over here. Okay, so I think I really like how that came out. Doesn't that look cool? I just love adding those clear enamel dots to this layout. Okay, so I think that's going to finish off the layout. I'll hold this up so I can give y'all some close-up views. And y'all be sure and go check out everyone else's videos that is participating in this YouTube hop. And I'll have links to their YouTube channels in the description below, so you can go and check them out. And the last couple of layouts that I worked on, the one for Pink Fresh Fridays as well, I used a background paper, and they were so much fun to put together and so simple and easy to do. So I definitely would recommend using some background paper as a starting place to do your layout, because it does help to pull your layout together much faster because you have something already designed in the background. Okay guys, that's all I have for this video. I hope y'all have an awesome weekend, and I hope to see you next time. Bye now.